Hey, what is going on guys? It's Stephen for Hey Techie back again. A couple of years ago, our Good Morning Routine video really blew up in a really big way, and ever since it's been one of the most viewed videos here on the channel. But sadly, back in iOS 14, an update from Apple broke some of these shortcuts' core functionality, especially with regards to integrating our HomePod into the routine. And there were a lot of comments about this, and it's something that we've really wanted to fix and get right for you. Now, I'm delighted to say that I have found a fix, and in this video, I will be guiding you through a step-by-step tutorial guide on how to build this new and improved shortcut from scratch. This shortcut is a celebration of all of the different things that you can do within a simple smart home, including getting Siri to read out the weather forecast, the day's date, your upcoming calendar events, as well as the new headlines, before signing you off with a lovely day's greeting. Once you've built this shortcut, it should look and sound a little something like this.
Good morning, Stephen. Today's date is the 11th of January 2025. The weather today is 5 degrees Celsius and cloudy, with a high of 6 degrees Celsius, and a low of 4 degrees Celsius. There is a 69% chance of rain today. Here are the top news headlines from Apple News today. Apple Arcade is kicking off the new year with an exciting slate of game launches, along with big updates to existing hits. Here's what's on the agenda today. Football. English FA Cup, Newcastle United vs Bromley. Have a great day.
If you are already familiar with shortcuts, feel free to skip ahead using the link in the video description where we have it all laid out for you already. But if you've never used shortcuts before, then we've got you covered step by step and click by click. Before you skip ahead though, a couple of things to note. You must try and build this shortcut on an iPhone or an iPad. You cannot build this on macOS devices, and I'll explain why during the tutorial video itself. And of course, make sure you have updated your iPhone or iPad to iOS 18.1 or newer. This will save you troubleshooting problems down the road, and without further ado, let's jump straight on in to the Good Morning 2 tutorial video. Okay then, so now that we know what it is that we want our shortcut to do, this is how we go about building it. Well, the first thing you need to do is open up the Shortcuts app on your iPhone or iPad. And I say that very specifically because some of the features that we're going to be using in Shortcuts are not available on the Shortcuts for Mac OS. When that is loaded up, you see there is a wide variety of different elements here. There's some fantastic different commands and scripting that you can use. Unfortunately, not everything that you have on Mac OS is available on iPhone. I really hope Apple does streamline this in the future, but for now, you're going to want to make sure that you are indeed building on iPhone. So you can see my screen here, and in order to make a new shortcut, go ahead and hit the plus button in the top right hand corner. That opens up a brand new shortcut, and by pressing on this downward arrow here, it will give you the opportunity to rename it. So in the spirit of this being the successor video to our most watched video of all time, I'm going to call it Good Morning 2, but for you, you can call it anything you like at all. As well as that, we can customize it a step further by going down back to that arrow and then choose icon. Because we're going to be using our HomePod to broadcast this every day, I'm going to use a little HomePod symbol, and because it's the morning green for go, I'm going to change that as well. That's not essential, but I like to make everything look nice and complete. Hi folks, just a really quick sidebar during the tutorial to say thank you so much for watching. 98% of you watching this video haven't yet subscribed to the channel, and building and making tutorial videos like this takes us an awful long time. If you are enjoying the video so far, please do consider subscribing right now. It's free and it's the best way that you can support this growing channel. Drop the video a like too, and let's get straight back into building our shortcuts. So once you've got yourself established and started, what is it that we're going to get this to do? Well, as it is a good morning routine, we should have a look at controlling some of our smart home devices. So by going to the action bar and typing in home, you'll be able to control home as you can see here at the top. And this will load this particular command directly into the taskbar. Now, in this particular example, you can see it says set scenes and accessories in my home. Now, when you load it in, my home may look different for you because you have named your home in the Apple Home app. Tap on to scenes and accessories and you'll see your HomeKit scenes and your various different devices in different rooms. If you have Matter devices, they will also be available here. As this is a good morning routine, I'm going to head on down to the bedroom and select the bedroom lamp and the curtains. And once you're satisfied with all of the devices that you're controlling, go ahead and tap next. And you'll see here that if the automation is run, the bedroom lamp will turn on, which is what we want, and the curtains will open. The curtains that I'm using in the bedroom are from SwitchBot. Thanks to their SwitchBot Hub 2, they support Matter, which allows them to be natively used in HomeKit. We've reviewed that product in a previous video, and I highly recommend you check it out. They are really a game changer in terms of home automation, especially if you're already bought into the SwitchBot ecosystem. With that being said, go ahead and tap done, and you can see there it will say set to accessories in my home. So that's everything that we want at this stage. Next, we want to have a think about making sure that we get the weather prompt in first, and I suppose you can think about this particular stage of building the shortcut about setting the foundations for success later on. In the search actions bar, go ahead and look for weather, and you'll be presented with a variety of options. And Shortcuts is fantastic because there are just so many different options that you can do. I highly encourage you to, after you've finished watching this video, go ahead and explore and have some fun. By the time you've finished in this video, you will have a template that you can build and customize, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments about what you have done to personalize this and really make it your own. For the moment though, we're interested in just getting the weather, and we tap that in and it will automatically set to current location. And of course, by tapping onto there, you can choose a wide variety of different places. Obviously you can enter your own address in here, but current location will make sure that it's always up to date no matter where you are. Obviously, you probably will only be using this when you're at home, so you could just put this as your home address if you would like. Next, let's get current date into this section too. So again, going to the search actions bar, this time we're just going to type in date and we're going to choose that top option there as well. Okay, so now that we've added the current dates and we want this to be a very productivity focused good morning routine, let's go ahead and integrate our calendar as well. Now on search actions, go ahead and search for calendar and you'll be presented with a very wide array of different options. Now in this particular example, we're going to go all the way down here to get upcoming events so that Siri will read out what is going to be going on in the day ahead for us. Automatically, it's going to choose get one event, but you can add that up to several events if you have a busy day or you know you have various different events. Of course, you can also customize this into a number of calendars, and as well as that, you can get it to focus either on today or tomorrow. But for this particular routine, I'm going to stick with just today. I think that makes the most sense, and it will make sure that we are ready for the day. So that's the setup then. Now it's time to start really building the meat of this particular shortcut. Again, going to the search actions bar, this time I want you to have a look for text. Choose the top option there, and this is where you're really going to start integrating the script that Siri is going to be using over the coming weeks as you use this shortcut in your daily life. So let's go ahead and make sure that Siri greets us every morning by typing in good morning. and this is a nice personal touch, but a top tip for you here that you may not see elsewhere is to make sure that you're using punctuation and commas in particular. Commas will mean that Siri, as a voice assistant, as it reads this, will take an extra pause to add a little bit more of a flow and a rhythm to the smart speaker reading everything out. Otherwise, things can go a little bit too quickly for my liking. Now we're going to start integrating our commands from above into the body of the shortcut. So far, what we've done here is that we've run the program to identify the current location and its weather. We've also used it to pull the events from calendars and also the date. Now we need Siri to start using this material, and we can do that in the text box. So today's date is, and then using the select variable bar at the bottom, we can make sure that we're building this directly into the shortcut. At the bottom here, go ahead and click date, and it will open up this screen here. Now, this will allow you to play around with the formatting, and everyone will have their own preferences, but for me, I highly recommend that you go ahead and change the date format to short, so it's only reading out the day and the month and the year, and turning off the time format by saying none whatsoever. Because this is a good morning routine and we're going to link it up with a certain time of day, effectively making this a shortcut alarm, I don't think there's any need for Siri to be reading out the time, but the choice is up to you. Now we've added the date in, we can go ahead and hit the X in the top corner, and we can see here that it has been built into the text box. Let's go ahead and add some more features into it though. So the weather today is, and we can go ahead and we can scroll across in this variable bar to weather conditions, and we can put that in there straight away, and you can see that weather conditions has been automatically selected. We're going to come back to this in just a moment, but you can see the very large amount of options that you have in shortcuts, really just showcasing how versatile this system is. We want this to feel more natural though, so we're going to add in another comma here, and with a high of, it'll allow us to really personalize precisely what Siri is reading to us. Now again, going down to our select variable bar here, you can go across back to weather conditions once again, and this time we're going to change this to high instead, and that will mean that Siri will give us the high temperature for the day. In the next line, we can go a low of as well, and again back to the variable bar. There is a wide variety of different commands we can use here, but weather conditions again, this time we're going to choose low. We can also add in the chance of rain. Here in Ireland it rains a lot, so there is a chance of rain, and we're going to get that to be expressed as a percentage. And again, in the middle of this, we can go back to weather conditions, and look at precipitation chance. And that now means that we're going to be building temperature in and our weather forecasts directly into what Siri is announcing. So now that we've added the weather in, it's now time to make the magic happen and get Siri to read this out on our HomePod. Now again, this is something that our original shortcut had, but an update to iOS 14 unfortunately removed the feature, but this is the secret of the workaround, and we're going to be leveraging Apple's intercom system. And this is why it's so important that you are building this shortcut on your iPad or iPhone, because Mac OS does not have access to the intercom system. In the search actions bar, go ahead and look for intercom, and you'll see it pop up here with the orange icon. And you can see as soon as we tap on that, it automatically builds it straight into the shortcut. We know it's worked because the adjoining line has appeared here, and we can see that it's referencing the text box immediately above to my home. Now, for this particular example, we want to narrow that down a piece because if you have multiple HomePods across the home or multiple Apple devices, this will broadcast this particular text box to everyone everywhere, and that is not ideal. Go ahead and tap on My Home. It will load up a list of variables, and you may recognize these as the rooms that we have set up within the Apple Home app. Because this is a good morning routine, let's go ahead and choose bedroom. And that will mean that only the HomePod in the bedroom will be reading this particular shortcut. Now that this is added in, let's go ahead and make this more valuable. Let's integrate our news sources once again. So this time what we'll do is we're going to put in the command looking for the top news headlines, and we'll get Siri to read this. Going back to the search actions bar, go ahead and tap on that and type RSS. And the option we're going to want is get items from RSS field. Now, in this particular example here, it's automatically connected to this, and that's not quite what we want. So for text, let's go ahead and clear this variable, and you'll see that it comes up with RSS feed, which is what we expected to have in the first place. Now for this, I'm going to go and integrate this to Apple's newsroom, but previously we had used BBC, and various other broadcasters around the world will also have RSS feeds. Again, refer back to our previous tutorial video if you are interested to see a little bit more about this. It's an outdated piece of technology that is still really useful in the modern age if you want to be building shortcuts like this. For now though, we just want apple.com /newsroom /RSS-feed.rss. And that now means that we're going to get 3 items from the top 3 items from Apple's newsroom on that given day. Now we'll want Siri to read those to us too, so going back to the search actions bar, let's go back and look for intercom once again, and you'll see another small line has appeared, and it will say intercom RSS items from above to my home, and again let's adjust that to the bedroom so that we are keeping this shortcut in the same space. Next, let's add a pause in. Pausing will allow this routine to feel more natural. By typing in wait or pause, you'll be able to control it through a variety of different measures. You can turn this up to 300 seconds, I think, but in this instance, we're just going to wait for 3 or 4 seconds just to space everything out so it doesn't feel like it's happening all so quickly. So if you're still with me at this stage, this is what it should look like. You'll have your HomeKit accessories triggered. You'll be getting the current weather, the date and the calendars, and we'll have Siri reading out the date, the weather conditions, and the news headlines. Now let's go ahead and get Siri to read out from our calendar. Again, this time we're going to go for text, and we're going to have Siri outline, here's what's on the calendar today. Again, as before, we're going to use the intercom function to read that specific text box out. Make sure that you adjust the room that you want to be included. So here's what's on the agenda today. Now again, this is where we're going to integrate the calendar, so we've already got those events from today. So in the text box, let's go back down to our select variable and look across until we can see upcoming events. And all we need to do is click on that and this tab will open, and we are happy just with the title. Of course, you can get any number of different information from your calendar depending on how well you filled it out in the first place, but just the title is enough, and of course that will give us the 3 different events. Finally then, let's get Siri to sign off with a nice salutation for the day. And again, using intercom as we have done several times throughout this, we can load that straight into the bedroom, and now we have our seamless Siri shortcut just like this. Once you're finished, go ahead and press the play button in the bottom right hand corner and double check that everything is working. The first time that it is working, you will need to make sure that you hit the allow function. Now that we're satisfied that the shortcut is working okay, now we need to build it in as part of our smart home automation. When you're satisfied, go ahead and hit done in the top right hand corner, and you should see your brand new shortcut here in the top left. To make this run automatically, now we're going to introduce automation. Along the bottom of the Siri Shortcuts app is the automation tab, so go ahead and hit on there. Next, let's go to the plus in the top right hand corner, and because this is a good morning routine, we want to build it in for a certain time of day. Now you can also use alarm, whether the phone is plugged in or not, or various other different triggers like that, but I think for this one it makes the most sense that it runs at a certain time of day. Let's go ahead and choose the time that we wake at. Let's go for just before 6:30 in the morning. And you control when this routine runs. You can choose daily, 7 days a week, weekly, and select specific dates, or indeed, if you are thinking of something a little less often, a monthly one, perhaps a monthly recap. And again, you can control that date as much as you want. In this particular example, I'm going to go for weekly and I'm going to exclude weekends. And I'm going to be building a very special good morning routine for the weekends. Do make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that next video. I think it's going to be magical and I think you will really enjoy it too. Once you're happy with the days that it's going to run, you can choose either run after confirmation or run immediately. For automation purposes, I'm going to recommend that you choose run immediately. And you can also turn on a notification when it's run, but it's off as standard and I recommend that you leave it off too, because otherwise you're just getting a notification that you don't really need. As long as this is working, you will be happy. So go ahead and hit next in the top right hand side, and we can see here that at 6:30 on weekdays, it's now looking for what it's going to do. And in the My Shortcuts bar, you can see Good Morning 2 along with other recent shortcuts that you've built. Good Morning 2 is the one that we've been working on, and we can see it here loaded perfectly. Make sure to tap on this panel here just to make sure that everything is loaded in okay. And again, we can choose additional functions to happen at the same time if we like, but that is going to be it for this video, else it gets a little too long. Go ahead and hit done, and that's you now finished. So there you have it folks, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you've stayed with me throughout this entire video, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've had fun learning some of the basics of Siri shortcuts, and I can't wait to hear in the comments how you'll be customizing this in future for your own situations. If you have enjoyed and you will be using this shortcut going forward, a like on the video would be really appreciated, as creating and editing these videos and building the shortcuts from scratch takes a lot longer than most of our content. So a like and let me know in the comments that you found value here is really appreciated and helps the channel. Of course, again, please do subscribe if you haven't already. 98% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you like and you want more content like this, please do subscribe, and if you have any trouble, let me know in the comments. I will reply to as many of them as I can. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you next week. Until next time then, I've been Stephen for Hey Techie.